Class is in session. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, what I want to talk about is the Gotoku games, or as known in the West here, Like a Dragon. So I'm a big fan of these games, and the reason why I want to make a video dedicated to these games is the fact that this month, I believe on the 26th, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is coming out. I just recently finished Like a Dragon about like a month or two ago, and I really liked the game. So I played a lot of these games, and I want to just spend my time talking about them and ranking them based on how I felt about them. So with that said, let's get into it, guys and gals. All right, so the first game, by the way, just as a quick note, there are a few games on here I haven't played, like the Japanese versions of these games or the original games that came out on the PS3 or PS2. So I'm not gonna rank those, but I have played their remade versions that came out on the PS4 and so on. All right, with that said, let's get into it. So the first game I see on the list here is Judgment. Judgment is one of those games where it had like the Yakuza brawler style combat to it, but it also had like some detective side quests to it. I really like the character Yagami. Unfortunately, I know the voice of the actor who they portrayed his likeness for this character Yagami. He has some kind of dispute with his agency, so they're not going to be making new Judgment games anymore. This is a particular game I played on the Steam Deck, and I really liked this game. It was great, especially for the Steam Deck. Judgment, nonetheless, I'm going to give Judgment an A ranking. Okay, mostly because not to get into like any of the spoilers or anything like that, but I felt like the game kind of overstayed its welcome a little too much, and they made a lot of improvements on the second game, which I will talk about right now. Lost Judgment. So I actually played Lost Judgment, which I own on the PS5. It was one of the first PS5 games I bought, and I actually bought this like I believe day one when it launched. Nonetheless, Judgment I played before Lost. I played Lost Judgment before I played Judgment. I didn't even know who the characters were, what some of the references were. So I think this game would have hit a lot more if I would have played Judgment first. I really love the story of Judgment. Lost Judgment, the story was pretty good, but then there was like an incident where a teacher got murdered, and it kind of just like threw me for a loop. I'm just like, oh wow, she was like a pivotal character. Like, why did they like kill her off? But nonetheless, Lost Judgment, I really like the fact that they did improve on the fighting style of the first game. So you got three fighting styles, and Yagami, again, he's such an awesome character. Kaito, his sidekick, yeah, it's such a good game. It's such a shame that they're probably most likely not going to make anymore because the actor, he has some kind of dispute going on with his agency. But nonetheless, Lost Judgment. I am going to give this game. Let's see. I'm going to give it an A ranking, same as Judgment. Solid game. It's one of those games I would probably play this game again. I'm not sure if I'll play Judgment again because it's kind of long, but I will give Lost Judgment at least one more playthrough. All right, so I can't rank these three right here because I've never played them. But I have played Yakuza 0. That was actually the very first game I played. And I started playing this game right at the onset of the pandemic. And, I seen like this, when I lived in Japan, I saw this game being advertised in the video game store before. And I was like, oh, wow, it looks pretty awesome. So, but I never picked it up. And, I wasn't into like gangster games like that. And I'm just like, I don't want to play like a shooter. I didn't know it was like a brawler, but like, yeah, Zero is hands down one of my favorite games ever. Kiryu is one of my favorite, if not my favorite video game character of all time. And this game really got me into the series. I love the side quests. I love Majima Goro's story. The story was a little convoluted with the Makoto and her brother situation, and then the Yakuza trying to like take some land from her or whatnot. So it was a little complex. It did take me a long time to beat it too. This game is super long. Nonetheless, Yakuza 0 it's a great entry point. I think if anyone wants to get into this series or this game, I think you should start with 0. Some say you could start with 7, Like a Dragon, but I say you should start with 0. So with that said, I'm giving Yakuza 0 an S tier. Like, you have to play it. Like, if you skip any game, this should not be the one. You should not skip Yakuza 0, y'all. All right, with that said, let's move on to the next one. So Let me make sure, because I see two Yakuzas here. Is this Kiwami? Okay, no, I have not played this one right here. I believe this is the PS2 era, so I'm gonna skip past all these games right here. I'm gonna skip past them all. All right. So I'm gonna jump into Yakuza 3. Yakuza 3. So I recently beat Yakuza 3 over the summer. It took a while to get through this game, mostly because like if you come off of the high of Yakuza 0 and then you play Kiwami, which is good, you know, not as good as 0, but it's like coming down a little bit. And then you play Kiwami 2, which is again not as good as Kiwami 1. It's coming down a little bit. But then you go to Yakuza 3 and it's like it's kind of like you just jumped off the diving board and just kind of like you're going for a free fall now. Like the fighting was a little sluggish, the gameplay was a little sluggish. There was a so Kiryu, he's kind of giving up his Yakuza lifestyle, and he's running an orphanage with a character that you meet in Yakuza Kiwami 1, I believe, and named Haruka. She's a little older now. They're running a orphanage together, and you have to do a lot of missions involving like the kids that live in the orphanage, like solving their little life slice of life issues that they have going on. And it just really like takes it's so boring, it's so dull. And then the combat is so annoying too, because like the enemies, they block a lot and it takes a long time to like just get through a fight. With that said, Yakuza 3, if it wasn't for this one character named Rikia, which he was a fantastic character. Unfortunately, something happened to him. I'm not gonna mention it, but just by me saying unfortunate, you probably know what happened. Nonetheless, Yakuza 3, I'm gonna have to give this game a C rank. Not the worst game ever, but it just wasn't, it didn't hit as hard. I feel like if you were to skip a game, this would probably be the one. Even though this is the one that introduces the orphanage character on the orphanage kids, it's still a skippable game to me. Nonetheless, let's move on. Yakuza 4. So Yakuza 4, I'm actually still playing through Yakuza 4. I haven't finished beating this game yet. I only play as I believe two characters yet. So far, like is it Shinada or the one that he has like feet? He fights with his feet, kind of like Sanji, typical feet fighting character. Nonetheless, from what I'm playing of Yakuza 4 so far, coming off of Yakuza 3, it's like a breath of fresh air. Yakuza 3 was kind of frustrated with the fighting mechanics in that game, but it's still not as good as like I want to say Yakuza Kiwami or Kiwami 2. Definitely not as good as 0. So I'm gonna give Yakuza 4 from what I played so far, and I know it's gonna be a little biased, but I'm gonna give it a B tier. You know, maybe if I finish the game and play some more of it, I will enjoy it some more. Yakuza Kiwami 5. And so I have not played 5, but I heard 5 is, I heard the combat's pretty good, but the story is not as good. I'm probably gonna get to this maybe in the summer. It'll probably take me a while to get through for, you know, work, life, all those things going on. So with my anticipation of 5, I'm gonna have to give it, I'll give it a B. B is, for me, B is pretty solid. B is passing. I will pick up a game that is a B rank. I won't probably pick up a game that's a C rank, but I'll pick up a B rank game. And I have to say the same about Yakuza 6. I heard Yakuza 6 was really, really solid. I can't wait to get to this game. Just I've seen so many clips of it. Haruka has a son named Haruto. It's just too many games to play through. But I haven't played through yet. But just based on the hype alone, I have to give this game a B tier. All right, but I am looking forward to playing Yakuza 6. All right, the next one. So I cannot rank this one either because I have not played the PS2 games. Like a Dragon. So, Like a Dragon, I actually still have it here. I have an up and down relationship with this game. So when I first played this game, I was on such a high note with Yakuza. Like I just finished beating 0. I bought this. It was like the first game along with Spider-Man Miles Morales that I bought for my PS5. And this game was awesome when I bought it because I'm not really into turn-based battle systems or anything like that, but this game is like the exception because it's so freaking good and the story is so freaking good. The problem I ran into with this game was like around chapter 9, I want to say. The leveling, like the skill level of this game just like went like whoop. and it just, you had to grind a lot in order to like progress into the next part of the game. I swear, like I was stuck at this boss battle, and you know, in Yakuza games, when you lose, or particularly this one, when you die, you lose like either like 25% of your money or like half of your money that you spent time grinding. And I knew there was going to be a part like in a few chapters later we had to grind to earn like basically like 3 million yen, 30 million yen or something like that, which is equivalent to like basically like 3 million American dollars. And I'm trying to save up all my money I can so I can get past that part. Fortunately, getting past that part was not too difficult. It was kind of easy. Got past it. I grinded like the rest of the game. I was not playing when I went to that Soten Bodhi dungeon in chapter 11 or 12. I was grinding when we fought our main man Kiryu. Spoiler alert: Kiryu's in the game. He was hard as heck to beat. Majima and Saejima's in the game. They were pretty hard too, but Kiryu, oh my goodness, he was a beast to beat. I died so many times fighting Kiryu. And then there was another boss named Tendo. He was just as hard, if not even harder than Kiryu. And then the final boss was just ridiculously easy to beat. Like just so easy. Like they make you struggle going through Kiryu in the game, but like the final boss was just easy. Nonetheless, this game had a fantastic story. It was so good that like I cannot wait for Infinite Wealth. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. So nonetheless, I gotta give this game an S tier. Like you gotta play it. Like even it's a kind of like a reboot of the Yakuza series, but it does tie in with like the previous things that happened in the series. I say like this is one of the games that you can't skip if you want to continue playing Like a Dragon games, because that's what it's going to be called now from now on, not Yakuza anymore, Like a Dragon. If you want to continue playing Like a Dragon games, you got to play this one. You got to play Zero, and you got to play this one. These are unskippable games. No matter how frustrating it gets, like around chapter 9 and 11 and 12 and parts of 13 as well, you got to play this one. All right. Nonetheless, love the game. So moving on. All right. So next here we have Kiwami 2. So Kiwami 2 was a game that actually didn't take me that long to beat. I guess I played it through the summer. I beat Kiwami 1, which was kind of short, and then I went right into Kiwami 2. I really like that female character, Sayayama, that Kiryu kind of, you know, had a little thing going on with. Really liked her. I think the boss Goji, he was pretty solid. He wasn't that hard to beat, but he was a pretty, like, you know, a good final boss and whatnot. I really like I can't remember the combat that much. I one of those games you have to kind of like build up your combat. Like you have to like earn like you have to like relearn your skills or whatnot. I'm not sure if it was Kiwami 1 or Kiwami 2, but I hated that system. I hated it for whatever reason. But nonetheless, Kiwami 2, good game. I'm gonna put it in the A tier along with the Judgment games. It's definitely one of those games I would buy, but like I would buy it like, you know, at a discount. I'm not paying no more than like maybe $15 for that game. 20 would be kind of pushing it. $15 is like the most I pay for it. But I played this game on Game Pass, luckily, so you know, good for me. Let's see. We have Kiwami 2. Oh no, this is Kiwami 1. All right, Kiwami 1. I really like Kiwami 1. The story takes place I guess like maybe 10 years or so after the Zero games. Kiryu, he goes to jail because of a murder that his brother has caused, and it's just a whole bunch of different betrayals and things going on. It's really emotional. I say Kiwami hits a lot harder if you play Zero. That's why I said Zero should be the starting point. That should be the very first one that you play. But once you play Zero and then you jump into Kiwami 1, oh my goodness, like that, the main villain of the story, it just hits so much harder because you see what the bond that the two of them have together. You know, that bond doesn't seem it'll seem kind of fickle, like if you just played Kiwami 1 without playing Zero and having that backstory. But nonetheless, Kiwami, I'm going to put here in S tier. Like, it's definitely a game I would pick up. It's kind of a one and done. Like, once you experience it, unless you're like a super duper hardcore fan, I wouldn't play it again. But I will pick it up just because I'm a fan, like for like, you know, like $10, somewhere around there. Nonetheless, on to the next one that they have on the list. So here, Like a Dragon Ishin. I have this game on the PS5 as well. A lot of these games, most of these games I played on Xbox, by the way, like Yakuza 0, Xbox, Like a Dragon, PS5, Xbox, Steam Deck, PS5, Xbox, and all the rest I played on Xbox thus far. So, Like a Dragon Ishin, I played on the PS5, and it was a remake of another game, Ishin, I guess that's what it was called. How do I feel about the game? I really like the historical aspects about it because I'm a person who lived in Japan and I love Japanese history. It was based on Sakamoto, Ryoma Sakamoto, who was actually a real person, a real historical person. It's like I liked the game, but there was also aspects of the game I didn't like. I don't know. Maybe I should give it another playthrough. I don't regret spending full price on it, but it was still. I don't know. I really like the game, and I'm really like puzzled on where to put it because it's definitely a game that you could skip, but it was still like a pretty good, solid game. Like, did I really like it as much as Judgment and Lost Judgment? I didn't like it as much as that. I guess considering I didn't like it as much as these, it was still a good game. So I want to put it like right there, if that makes sense. Like it's like right on the cusp of being an A tier game, but it's not quite as good or it doesn't hit as hard as the games I put in A tier right now. But it's still a pretty good game. Yeah, maybe I should give it another playthrough. See if maybe I want to put it higher. But nonetheless, I think Ishin was a pretty solid game. Definitely worth playing if you're a fan. If not, you could pretty much skip it because it's not canon to like the main series, and I don't think any other game ever referenced to this game. And they don't, even though they use the likeness of the characters from the other Yakuza games, they don't reference them at all or any events. So it's I don't know. If you're a hardcore fan and you want to pick it up, pick it up. Nonetheless, Ishin. It looks like the last one here because we're not going to rank these because I never played them. Is The Man Who Erased His Name. So I just recently beat this game. I think right around the holiday season. Came out in November. Oh man, everybody's been telling me like, this game will hit a lot harder if you finish Yakuza 6. There was a lot of references to like pretty much all the games except for Ishin. They went back and referenced like everything. Even there's a connection between Like a Dragon as well, and shows like what Kiryu was doing behind the scenes when all the events between Ichiban and his crew was going on. The Man Who Erased His Name. I really like the agent fighting style because you're using like different type of technology to fight with. He has like a spider whip and whatnot. He can grab things from a distance. He has some mechanical jet boots that he could just like bum brush past through people. His Yakuza style, his brawler style. I wasn't a really big fan of that style because like I think it left you wide open a little bit too much. And then the final boss, I'm not gonna lie, that final boss was hard to beat because he was just like a damage sponge. He was quite hard. Oh man. Actually, a lot of boss battles in this game is hard because like even though I was leveling up Kiryu, I was like boosting up his stats and everything. I was doing like a lot of the side quests. I didn't do them all, but I did like the one with Kaito in it. I made sure I got that one because it paid out a lot of money in the game. I didn't get too far in the battle arenas because they were getting a little hard, and I was at the point where I'm just like, all right, I just want to finish this game. But oh man, this was a solid game. I don't want to say like it's like you need to play it because it's a game that's like skippable, but it's a really really good game. If like I think it's a game that hits harder if you played the other games and like you're hooked and you're a fan and you're like dedicated to playing this series. So I think I want to give this game a S tier ranking. Like I did enjoy it more than Judgment. I enjoyed it more than Lost Judgment and more than Kiwami 2. It's up there with Kiwami 1 for me. It's not as good as Like a Dragon or Yakuza 0. Those games are legendary in my opinion. But The Man Who Erases His Name, it's pretty good too. I'm not sure of how good the replay value is. Like if I'll play it again, even though it's quite short. It's not short. It's only 5 chapters. It's long, but it's not as long as like Yakuza 0 or Like a Dragon or like Infinite Wealth is supposed to be. Oh my goodness, I heard that game is gonna be like probably over 100 hours. It's gonna be massive. I'm excited nonetheless to still play, but nonetheless, I mean that's my tier list I got right there. So Yakuza 0, Like a Dragon, SS tier. You have to play those. Don't skip them. If you want to get into the series, start with 0. That's the very first game you should play. If you don't like 0, then if you don't like the series after Zero, you probably won't like the other series as much. Besides Judgment, Judgment is like its own thing. There's like very few ties in with the other Yakuza characters in series that's going on, but like very few. Judgment, yeah, it's kind of its own thing. Nonetheless, that's the video, you guys. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share this video all around the world with your family and friends, and tell me what you think. What game would you change if you had to, if you wanted to do this ranking tier system like I just did? Would you put Yakuza 0 and Like a Dragon as SS tier, like games that you have to play, or is there something else you'll put up there? Nonetheless, I want to hear about from you guys. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this video all around the world with your family and friends. I love you guys, and until the next one, I'm out. Class dismiss.